Hello everyone, this is Snigdha Mahapatra, intern at LexClick, and today's topic for the video is classification of companies in India. In India, companies are classified basically under three heads, that is, companies on the basis of liabilities, companies on the basis of members, and companies on the basis of control. Now let us discuss about these categories in brief. Now what are companies on the basis of liabilities? When we look at the liabilities of members, companies can be limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or simply unlimited. Now, companies on the basis of liabilities is further divided into three categories, that is, companies limited by shares. Sometimes shareholders of some companies might not pay the entire value of their shares in one go. In these companies, the liabilities of members is limited to the extent of the amount not paid by them on their shares. This means that in case of winding up, members will be liable only until they pay the remaining amount of their shares. Second is companies limited by guarantee. In some companies, the memorandum of association mentions amounts of money that some members guarantee to pay. In case of winding up, they will be liable only to pay only that much amount that was guaranteed. The company or its creditors cannot compel them to pay any more money. And thirdly, unlimited companies. Unlimited companies have no limits on their members' liabilities. Hence, the company can use all personal assets of the shareholders to meet its debts while winding up. Their liabilities will extend to the company's entire debt. The second category is companies on the basis of members, which is further divided into three categories. First, one person companies, that is OPC. These kinds of companies have only one member as their sole shareholder. They are separate from sole proprietorships because OPCs are legal entities distinct from their sole members. Unlike other companies, OPCs don't need to have any minimum share capital. Second is private companies. Private companies are those whose article of association restrict free transferability of shares. In terms of members, private companies need to have a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 200. These members include present and former employees who also hold shares. Thirdly, public companies. In contrast to private companies, public companies allow their members to freely transfer their shares to others. Secondly, they need to have a minimum of 7 members, but the maximum number of members they can have is unlimited. The third category of company is companies on the basis of control or holding. These are further subdivided into further categories. First, holding and subsidiary companies. In some cases, a company's shares might be held fully or partly by another company. Here, the company owning these shares becomes the holding or parent company. Likewise, the company whose shares the parent company owns becomes its subsidiary company. Holding company exercise control over their subsidiaries by dictating the composition of their board of directors. Furthermore, parent companies also exercise control by owning more than 50% of their subsidiary companies' shares. Second, associate companies. Associate companies are those in which other companies have significant influence. The significant influence amounts to ownership of at least 20% shares of the associate company. The other company's control can exist in terms of the associate company's business decisions under an agreement or can also exist under joint venture agreements. Next category is companies in terms of access to capital. When we consider the access a company has to capital, companies may be either listed or unlisted. Listed companies have their securities listed on stock exchanges. This means people can freely buy their securities, hence, only public companies can be listed and not private companies. Unlisted companies, on the other hand, do not list their securities on stock exchanges. Both public as well as private companies can come under this category. Now, some other types of companies are one, government companies. Government companies are those in which more than 50% of share capital is held by either the central government or by one or more state government, or jointly by the central government and one or more state government. Second, foreign companies. Foreign companies are incorporated outside India. They also conduct business in India using a place of business either by themselves or with some other company. Third, charitable companies. Certain companies have charitable purposes as their objectives. These companies are mentioned under Section 8 of the Companies Act of 2013. Charitable companies have the promotion of arts, science, culture, religion, education, sports, trade, commerce, etc. as their objectives. Since they do not earn profits, they also do not pay any dividend to their members. Fourth is dormant companies. These companies are generally formed for future projects. They do not have significant accounting transactions and do not have to carry out all compliances of regular companies. Fifth is Nidhi companies. A Nidhi company functions to promote the habits of thrift and saving amongst its members. It receives deposits from members and uses them for their own benefits. Now, the sixth type of company is public financial institutions. Life Insurance Corporation, Unit Trust of India, and other such companies are treated as public financial institutions. They are essentially government companies that conduct functions of public financing. Thank you so much for watching the video and see you in another video.